Pastor Paul Teske has over 40 years of ministry experience as a church planter, senior parish pastor, Navy chaplain, and seminar speaker. He has ministered in over 60 countries and has appeared on numerous television and radio shows. He has collected over the years a wealth of knowledge and understanding about kingdom work in different areas of ministry, and now makes himself available as a mentor to impart wisdom into those who seek his counsel. If you're at a place in your life where you need wisdom, invest a few minutes of your time and watch Rev Up with Rev.
Welcome to Rev Up with Rev. I want to share with you some thoughts from my heart that may be helpful for you. Have you ever struggled with meeting expectations in your life? Oftentimes I talk to people who feel a real sense of frustration because they're not measuring up to the expectations that they've set for themselves or that they feel like others have set for them. Meeting those expectations is critical, but the greater the distance from where you're able to perform and where the expectations are, the greater the frustration. So how do you set realistic expectations? Well, number one, let's start with yourself. How do you set them for yourself? Well, you set them in such a way that they're attainable, that they're reachable. You know, it's one thing to challenge yourself. It's another thing to set an expectation so high that you'll never meet it. And if you never meet it, you'll be extremely frustrated. I've known young people that said, I'm going to make $1 million by the time I'm 30. And they hit 30 and they haven't made $100,000 and they're frustrated because they've set an unrealistic expectation. So you need to learn to set expectations that are reachable, attainable, challenging, but within the realm of being able to attain. Otherwise, you're going to be frustrated. How about setting expectations for others? You've got that friend that you really care about, but they're never reliable. They're never there for you. They're always letting you down. What you've done is set a false sense maybe of expectation for them to do something that they're never going to be able to do. So what do? You don't have that expectation anymore. You let it go. If they're never going to show up or they're never going to call you or they're never going to give you a gift, then don't have that expectation. Love them for who they are in the midst of their flaws and don't expect too much because they'll never meet it. Or how about your kids? How about your children? You know, you've got a kid and you want your child to go to Harvard or Yale, but they're a C student. So why would you beat them up with an expectation that they'll never be able to measure up to? What you have to do is look at your child and ascertain their ability and where they're at and challenge them, but be realistic as you set those expectations. Otherwise, you're going to frustrate them, you're going to cause a lot of anger, and believe me, they'll start acting out in order to resist that expectation that they know they can't meet that you've set for them. Now, a lot of times people confuse this with challenging. I'm not saying don't challenge your child, but just don't be unrealistic when you set expectations. And then there's God. You know, setting expectations for God. This is kind of an interesting area. I think our God is big enough to handle anything we challenge him with because he's God, and we agree on that. But the expectation maybe is a negative thing. Maybe you don't think God can love you. Maybe you don't have that expectation. You see, that's wrong. He loves you so much, he gave his son for you. Or maybe you have the expectation that he'll never hear you. Let me tell you, God's always listening. There's not a time in your life when he has not had his eye on you, when his ear has not been open to you. You may look at me and say, well, you know, I've been talking, I've been praying, I don't hear an answer. Listen, God hears you. Don't ever have that expectation that he doesn't hear you, that he doesn't love you, that he doesn't care about you. He's your heavenly Father. He loves you so much. He's very interested in you. He cares about you very much. So have that expectation. Have that expectation that he's with you, that he hears you, that he loves you. But be careful when you set expectations for yourself and others in those things we were talking about earlier. Be careful how you manage your expectations because they can either make or break your day or even your life.
Thanks for taking the time to watch our weekly Rev Up with Rev. If you have a topic question, please email us at info@paulteske.com and we'll respond by blog, Facebook, and Twitter. Also, check out our website at paulteske.com. God bless and have a great day.